So I just want to pop on here and share a couple thoughts about how Facebook ads work, and particularly as it pertains to testing new ads and quickly advancing your campaigns. So one of the issues that I run into a lot with clients or people who are trying to run their own ads is that they tend to make decisions too quickly. So, for example, let's say you have four ads in an ad set in a campaign, and you're testing these ads out. You're just, running a $50 a day budget. And the first day, you get no results for those four ads. So you're like, okay, I just threw $50 down the drain. The second day, one of those ads gets a result. And you're like, shoot, now it's been $100 and I've only had one result. Then the third day, two of those ads get a result. And now you're on day three, you spent $150 and you've only had like three or four results. Okay. And so you look at your data and you're like, okay, these two ads have had um, conversions and, you know, they're still higher than I want them to be. So I think I'm going to kill them. And I think none of the ads in this campaign work. And this campaign's not working. I've spent $150 and I've just lost money. That happens all the time, right? And it's hard um, to not look at that and say, I want to cancel this because I'm not making money. But what tends to happen is Facebook's algorithm is essentially just kind of getting warmed up. And so if your ads only have one or two purchases on them, then that's really not enough data for you to then go and say, look, I got to turn this off and this isn't working, because Facebook needs time and experience with that ad, and they need to be able to show it to people in different places and figure out where that ad is going to fit in and how they're going to make that ad work. And if you only give it 3 days, and I know there's an expense associated with it, but if you only give it 3 days and you have an ad that has one or two conversions on it, then Facebook's just getting started with placing that ad around and figuring out where to put it. And so if you cancel that campaign, then you're tabling it, and then you're going to create new ads. And then Facebook has to do the same thing with new ads. So you're starting over sort of from scratch by introducing these new ads, and then you have to let the new ads do the same thing. So even if your ads are getting a higher cost per result than you'd like, you want to let them continue to run until it's blatantly obvious that it's not going to work. And again, what I mean by that is, let's take that scenario again. If you've had, an ad set with three or four ads in it, and then you see that one of the ads in the ad set has had two purchases or conversions in it, and again, that cost per purchase is a bit higher than you'd like, Facebook's telling you that this ad is starting to convert and we're starting to figure out how to place this thing. You want to let that thing go. In my experience, as long as I've seen what's happening and seen where the conversions are coming in and I let it go, a lot of times the fourth, fifth, sixth, even seventh day is when that ad or a couple of those ads really kick in and start to get the conversions and make up for the losses of the previous days. So, I've had ad sets where I launched the ad set, I spent $100 in the first day, nothing happens. The second day, it's slow, and I get some conversions and make up a little bit of the cost there, but I'm still negative. And then the third day, one of those ads just hits a pocket and gets like four or five conversions. Boom. And then now that particular ad is under the goal of the target CPA. And then I keep letting it run. And then that ad does well the next day. And then maybe it doesn't do well the next day, but it does well the next day. And then we find consistency in one ad, and then we can cancel the other ads and take that ad as our winner and move it into another campaign. Okay, so you have to let that happen. If you don't let that happen, you're cutting off the potential for the ads or ad before it can actually grow and becomes something that gets good data on it and, becomes a winner for you. So again, the point of this message here is that people end up cutting off their ads too quickly. And funny enough, people tend to cut off ads that have a result that's higher than they want because they say, oh, that result's too high. And then they let Facebook go and try to serve the other ads that haven't even gotten a result yet, which makes sense in a way because you want to make sure that you test budget on the ones that it hasn't really tested yet. But when Facebook gets a result for your ad, it's saying, okay, we're figuring this out. So then if you're going to cut off Facebook from figuring it out, then that's where you're going to run into trouble. And at the end of the day, your ads are probably a bit better than you think. You just have to let them run for longer periods of time to really test out the effectiveness of the ad and find that winner or find those winners. And then you can cut the fat and go with the winners. So it's a process of elimination, essentially. Put a bunch of ads out there, let them run for a while, waste the money on figuring out which works, cut the fat, take what works, and amplify it. All right. Hopefully that was a bit helpful for some of you guys out there who are, turning on and off ads all the time and kind of stressing too much about it.